Bless Your Heart by J. Wilburn. All right. Sally stared through the dirty front windows of the restaurant from where she leaned on the hostess station by the front door. The windows were clean on the inside, but there was no keeping the dirt off the outside. Something out there, through all that film of dust fell. Something out there. Okay, I need to make a comma here. Through all that film of dust. Let's say clinging dust. Fell from the sky on a few white bursts of fiery energy. The dull thump from those engine burns shook the windows in their frames. Let's say time passed. If you have time to lean, you have time to clean, Aunt Servo said from behind her. Sally stood up straight with a grinding noise from her joints that probably shouldn't have been ignored. Deep indentions in the wood of the hostess stand showed where her forearms had rested. Let me fix that. Alright, she didn't clean anything, but she watched the vessel land on the hard pan. No, I need to fix that. She watched where the vessel had landed, I had an issue with time here, and it's fine that they don't know the exact amount of time, but I'll need to watch that. Landed on the hard pan beyond the crumbling buildings. Okay. Beyond the crumbling buildings that surrounded the restaurant. It took a while, but something was moving out there where the ship had come to rest a while ago. More white-hot objects burned up in the cloudy atmosphere on their way down around the city. If you have time to lean, you have time to clean. Sally straightened her back a little more, even though she wasn't leaning. Someone was coming. Alright, I'll leave it at that. I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting all these as I go along. She lifted a menu from the slot beside her station. The plastic ripped loudly as she separated it from the others. She separated, let's say, the one from the others. The menu was bleached white on one side and covered in black distress on the other. It was two of them. They were both dressed similarly as they stood outside looking at the little sign, looking at the lit up sign for the restaurant. Okay. They were both dressed similarly as they stood outside looking up. I'll say at the sign for the restaurant. I know it said lit, but we need to do something else. Let's say she believed the sign was lit today. Okay. She hadn't been out there in years, but she knew it said, "Bless your heart, come in and eat." She ripped free another illegible menu. Finally, one of the men stepped forward. The other reached out to grab his sleeve, but missed. The fellow opened the door to the ring of a bell. He was a black fellow. Let's say he was a black man. Sorry, I said fellow. He was a black man and ducked his head from the sound. When he looked up, the bell sound strained a little at the end and distorted before it shut off. Okay. The bell above the door was decorative. All right. Let's say the physical bell above the door was decorative. "Welcome to Bless Your Heart." "Your heart," she said. How many in your party?" The fellow recoiled at her voice and stood holding the door. and letting in drifts of dust on the hot wind. His white friend, also in a wrinkled, shimmering suit, complete with gloves and boots, walked up behind him. "What the hell is this, Tommy?" he asked. Let's say... Alright, I think I got these names mixed up early on, so I'm going to see if I can fix that. Alright. What the hell is this, Tommy? The one behind... let's say the one still outside. Asked. Okay. The first guy, Tommy, stepped through with his helmet off and under his arm. "Who are you?" I'm Sally. Sit anywhere you like." More dust blew in. "If you have time to lean, you have time to clean," Aunt Servo called from deeper in the restaurant. Need to take that quotation mark out. I'm starting to see where I got these names mixed up, so this editing job is going to be a lot of fixing the dialogue here. The second fellow still had his helmet attached to his suit, but the golden visor was up. He pushed Tommy forward and closed the door behind them like Aunt Servo was scolding them. "Randall," Tommy grunted as he shifted sideways. "What, man? We were letting dust in." "We don't know what this place is." "You're at Bless Your Heart just in time for lunch." Aunt Servo extended her metal arms, sculpted to look like they had folded fat underneath. Okay. Follow me," Sally said, her knee joints ground with grit as she walked them into the restaurant, filled with long white tables, tiled floors, and white shelves. Okay, let's say on those shelves, cloth napkins, stacks of plates, and empty jars were set up like a photo shoot. Okay, hold on, let me fix that. We're set up, let's say, as if for a photo shoot. Okay. Someone was cleaning instead of leaning in here. Okay, that's perfect. Well, I don't know if that's perfect, but that's what I want to get across. Okay. "Do you have food?" Randall asked. Sally... let me have Tommy ask that. Okay, I have definitely messed this up. Okay. Oh my goodness. I may not be able to fix this today. I've got it so mixed up. All right, "Do you have food?" Randall asked. All right. "Do you have food?" Randall asked. Okay. Sally placed out the unreadable menus as if that answered the question. Randall took a seat by one of the menus. Tommy huffed and said, "Get up from there. We need to find the others." Sally stepped up between the men and asked, "Are you waiting on a couple more?" Randall ignored her. Okay. We have the beacons on. This is as good a place to wait as any." Alright. Yes, okay. I got this straight now. I may need to fix some of the names at the beginning, but I think we're good now. Alright. So Randall is seated and Tommy is up. Okay. We have the beacons on. This is as good a place to wait as any. "Can I get you boys something to drink to start you off?" Aunt Servo asked. Tommy said, "We're not picking up their signals, so something went wrong. We need to go look. Now, get up." Randall didn't get up. He turned his eyes on Aunt Servo and asked, "What do you have to drink?" We're out of a lot of items, but we have filtered water, she said, and ice. Okay, I'm going to put an exclamation point there, like she's excited about ice. All right. Randall's eyes lit up. I'll take an ice water. The bulky robot turned her attention on Tommy. And you, sir? We can't stay here, Tommy said to Randall. Randall sighed and said, 2 ice waters, please. Aunt Servo turned and called out, Cousin Cog? Another robot, this one wearing a stained apron, leaned out from a swing door across the room. What can I do for you? What can I do you for? 2 ice waters. You got it. We have very low radiation today. They'll taste great. He pulled back into the kitchen and showed for a second beyond that door. Beyond that, let's say swing door. Okay. What did he say about radiation? Tommy asked. Aunt Servo waved the question off. He's a kidder. Don't listen to him. Do you boys know what you'd like to eat? We're not eating here, Tommy said. Help me look for the crew. Randall stayed seated and folded his hands over the menu. What do you have to eat? Aunt Servo said, we're low on a few things, but we can always rustle up some meat and potatoes. Randall said, we'll have 2 of those, thank you. Coming right up, Aunt Servo headed for the kitchen. Cousin Cog stepped out with 2 glasses of ice water. She took those, and they exchanged a few quiet words. Are you having some sort of breakdown, Randall? You're the one who seems to need to calm down, old buddy. Tommy placed his palms on the clean white wood of the tabletop next to Randall. Would it help if I slapped you across the face, maybe real hard? We're not going to find anyone running around like we've been doing. Anyone just running around like we've been doing. This spot has power. Let me fix that. This spot has power and food, apparently. We need to stay calm. Aunt Servo placed the ice waters on the table. We'll have your meals rustled real soon. Jeff is working the grill today. He's the best. As she scooted, maybe to keep an eye on Jeff, the grill master, Tommy tried to grab Randall's wrist, causing a little water to spill down the front of his suit. Watch it, Tommy. This has ice in it. You're not going to drink that, are you? Randall answered by taking a drink. He made a real show of giving a satisfied sigh. That really hits the spot. Try yours. Did you hear them mention radiation? All right, I need a question mark there. You see what it looks like out there. They said it was no radiation, or maybe they said low. Either way, they are relics of a fallen civilization. We need to follow protocol, Randall. Randall took another sip and waved Tommy off in a very Aunt Servo sort of gesture. If there was radiation still, our sensors would have picked it up. Well, Randall, not all the beacons are working, so maybe, I don't know why I said made, so maybe those sensors are missing something too. Alright, I need to be sure I have my post-it notes ready in case that doctor calls me back. Okay. Alright, so maybe those sensors are missing something too. We have to eat and drink something, Tommy. We have supplies, limited supplies that we shouldn't use up. Do you care about finding the others? Are you just giving up? Is that it? We need to regroup and think things through. We have no signal on anyone else. We can see the ship from here, and I think this place is air conditioned. Randall turned to Sally. Is it air conditioned in here? All right, let me put a question mark there. This story is definitely going to need more than one edit pass. Sally jolted as if being awoken from a daydream. I believe daydream is a compound word. And it is. She stood up straighter and pointed at the ceiling. Probably just the fans you're feeling. Tommy stared at her and then asked, how long have you been here? The restaurant was established in 2234. I've been here since then. Randall glanced at Tommy, who seemed to be watching the sweat of condensation. Okay, no, this is where I'm messing up. I got them reversed. All right, Tommy glanced at Randall. who seemed to be watching the sweat of condensation run off the side of the glasses. But he said, "That's about 500 years or so, right, Tommy?" "What happened to everyone?" Tommy asked. Sally stood for a moment, jolted again, and answered, You're our first customers for the day." "How many days?" Tommy pressed. "How many days has it been since the last customer?" All right, that needs another question mark. There's a lot of questions in this dialogue, and I have forgotten to punctuate properly. A while, Sally answered. The door flew open. All right, let me do a comma. And the bell gave its digital ring that petered out at the end. Sally walked toward her station on grinding knees as the woman in her suit with no helmet or gloves in sight stumbled and collapsed on the tile. Sally said, "How many in your party?" Tommy and Randall both pushed past Sally. "Haley." They helped her up and led her to a chair at the end of their long table. Sally tore free another ruined menu and brought it to the trio of humans. Randall gave Haley a cold sip from his glass. As he pulled it away, she seized it in both her dirty hands and gulped down the rest. Sally set down the menu and asked, "What can we start you with?" "Where have you been?" Tommy asked. She answered, "We couldn't get your pods open. There was a signal, and we went for help." Okay, let me put a comma there. All right. "You and Stephanie?" Randall asked. "Do you want to hear the specials?" Sally asked. "Yes," Haley said. "We lost the signal and started back, but then got separated. I don't know how." "Have you seen her?" Sally said, "On special today we have catfish with potatoes." Let's say fried. You always fry catfish. Let's say country potatoes. Country potatoes. We have a big burger with mushrooms and barbecue sauce. We have... Tommy shouted, "Stop with the specials, please." "I'll give you a minute," Sally said as she started away. "What signal did you pick up?" Tommy asked. We got nothing when our pods opened. We didn't know where either of you were." Aunt Servo burst forth from the kitchen. "Jeff is cooking up a storm. Should be ready real soon. Can I get you boys refills?" "No," Tommy said as Randall cried out, "Yes, refills, and one more glass of ice water." "We have more company, I see," Aunt Servo said. "Does your friend know what she wants?" "How far from the ship did you go?" Tommy asked. "Miles," she said. "Maybe 20 miles before we lost the signal. We searched a while and then headed back. That's when, I don't know, we just lost each other. I'm not sure how it happened. Can I have more water?" Sally moved from her station toward the kitchen. Randall picked up Tommy's untouched glass and helped Haley take another sip. "Take it slow or you'll get sick." "I got the waters," Aunt Servo waved Sally off. "Did you read them the specials?" Sally looked back and forth. I need a quotation mark there. "I started, but then they declined." Aunt Servo gave an electronic sigh and called out a little louder. "You want me to put on a third meal and a third meat and vegetable for your friend?" "Yes," Randall called. "And lots more water, please." "Coming right up." Okay. Cousin Cog met her at the door, and the two robots conversed. Another voice shouted something in an echo from the kitchen. 20 miles, Tommy said. "Why did you ever try to go that far in one day?" Haley looked up at Tommy and shook her head. "It's been 11 days since we touched down. How long ago did you guys wake up from deep sleep?" Randall looked at his wrist, even though there was no watch there. "Maybe a few hours." "What signal were you following?" Tommy asked. Aunt Servo turned from the kitchen. "Jeff wants to know if you want everything out at the same time." Randall called out, "No, just bring it when it's ready, as soon as it's ready." "Why are you still ordering food?" Tommy growled from between his teeth. "I could eat," Haley said. "I'm starving." "See," Randall said. Coming right up then," Aunt Servo re-entered the kitchen with Cousin Cog. Sally leaned forward a little. "Is there anything I can get you as you wait?" Tommy knelt down beside Haley. "Focus for me, please. What signal did you and Stephanie pick up while we were still under?" "A tracking signal," she said. "It was the rally signal." Who sent it? Randall asked. Aunt Servo came out balancing 3 fresh glasses of water. Sally helped her put them, not put them out, let's say place them out. Place them out as Aunt Servo left with the 2 empties. Randall reached for Haley's glass, but she grabbed it first and drank half of it at a go. I don't know who sent it. We never found them, she said finally. So explain what happened right before Stephanie disappeared. She didn't disappear. We just got separated. How? Randall asked. He's asking you to explain what happened before you lost her. You saw her one moment and the next you didn't? You didn't it? No, that's not what I want to say. You didn't. Alright, that's good. It's hard to explain, she said. Try, Tommy demanded. Aunt Servo and Cousin Cog swept out of the kitchen. The back of a burly robot showed where more meat and vegetables cooked on the grill. Servo and Cog laid out the 2 completed meals and returned to the kitchen. Aunt Servo called over her shoulder, "The 3rd helping will be out shortly." Haley pushed Tommy aside and sprung out of her chair. She tore off a piece of the gray meat, I have a dropped word there, from Tommy's plate and stuffed it into her mouth. She chased it with her water and then gobbled some more. Randall tried his meat and then sniffed at the vegetables. He took a nibble and then a bigger bite. Not potatoes or carrots, not a parsnip, some kind of root vegetable. I think we'll say. It's good though. Try one, Tommy. See if you know what it is. I'm not trying one. We need to track down Stephanie. How far away did you last see her? Randall turned around in his seat. What kind of meat and vegetables is this, dear? Sally jolted and said, we locally sourced it. He stared a moment and went back to eating. Haley paused between handfuls and spoke as she chewed. Maybe 10 miles out, give or take. We were on our way back. I searched in a spiral for a few hours and then decided to see if she came back from the ship. Came back to the ship. All right. Randall covered his mouth as he spoke. How did you find us in here? The light was on, she said. We missed this place the first time. Your tracks from the ship hadn't quite been covered. Then I picked up your signals a few feet from the door. We need to go look for her, Tommy said. Could you find the last place you saw her? Haley paused and looked up at the spinning ceiling fans before she spoke. I think so. I know so. We were at some arena, deserted like the rest of the city. None of this was built when we first set out for deep space, let's say. All right, so now we have an idea that they've been gone a while. There was a time dilation for sure. There was a time dilation for sure, Randall mumbled over a mouthful. We don't know how much, maybe 500 or 600 years if the hostess robot is right. What about the arena? Tommy asked. We thought we saw something. Something alive? Tommy asked. Haley shrugged. Not sure, just something. We thought we got a bit of a signal, thought it was one of yours, but it was there and gone fast. What happened at the arena? Tommy asked. Haley had finished her water and started on Tommy's fresh glass. Okay, that is correct. All right, let's say her fingers left muddy smears in the condensation. All right. There was a shifting. Nothing fell, but the whole place was shaking. We fled out through some exits. There was a gate in our way. There was, let's say, a locked gate. There was a locked gate in our way, and we had to detour. It was dark, but we saw a light ahead. Something flashed in the tunnel, and Stephanie yelled for me to keep going. Did she make it out? Tommy leaned over the table. Sally whispered, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. Randall gave a chuckle. Haley said, I'm sure she did. I saw her in the light. Um, I saw her in the light once we were outside again. All right, let's say. There was a lot of dust and the ground was still shaking. All right, let me put a comma there. But she yelled again for me to run. When the dust cleared, she was gone, but there was some other object still moving. I had to run to stay ahead of it. Was it attacking you? Randall wiped his mouth on his sleeve. I didn't wait to see. I lost track of Stephanie by that point. Once I shook off the machine tracking me, I started searching. The machine tracking me, I think it was a machine. Or maybe a vehicle of some kind. Doesn't matter. After that, I started searching. Okay, there we go. Say searching for her. Alright. I even went into the arena again. It's a maze down there, but I didn't find her. Alright, let me fix a typo, sorry. And she never answered my calls. The kitchen doors swung open. This time Aunt Servo brought the third plate, very much like the other two. A bigger robot on treads instead of legs stood in the doorway. Now let's say rolled into the swing door. The grill was quiet again. Must be Jeff, Randall said. Now let's say must be the famous Jeff, Randall said. All right, Haley turned. She started to choke. As Tommy reached for her, she bolted for the door and ran back outside into the blowing dust. Tommy ran outside after her, calling her name. Sally took a moment to close the door before she met eyes with Randall still in his seat. He shrugged and returned to eating as the third plate. Let's say platter. We need to make these things big. The third platter was set down steaming. Anything else, honey? Aunt Servo asked. Could you refill all the waters, please? Okay, let me put a comma there. Randall asked. They should be right back. Sure thing. Aunt Servo took the empties with her. She held out the one with muddy streaks from Haley's fingers. She whispered, if you have time to lean. All right. Randall paused and belched. He asked, what happened to all the people? Let's say, turning to Sally. He asked, turning in his chair. In his chair to Sally, he asked, what happened to all the people? Your friends just left suddenly, Sally answered. No, I mean all the people on the planet. Where did they go? I'll say all the people in the city. On the planet. Where did they go? Jeff spoke as he rolled backward into the kitchen. His voice was a bit digitized. His voice was a bit digitized and distorted. Kind of like the bell over the door. Over the front door. Over the front door. I'm going shopping again. I'll be right back. Sally jolted, stood up a little straighter. They went underground at first. Underground, why? To hide from the robots. I forgot to give you silverware. Hold on. No, wait. She waited. No, wait. He said. That's not how I want to do it. Hold on. He said. She waited. Why did they hide from the robots? There was an uprising, but the humans won, and the robots obeyed again. Hurry, Aunt Servo said to Jeff. We're having quite a crowd today. Randall reached for his water, but it wasn't there. He said, so what happened to the winning humans? So what happened to the winning humans? Why aren't they still here? They killed themselves off, just like the robots predicted they would. Let me get you that silverware now. Randall shook his head, but returned to eating the gray meat and vegetables anyway. Need to keep fed, Jeff said as he rolled toward the back door. Let's say, of the restaurant kitchen.